even though it's only 73 degrees, it's very muggy out here. When I started walking, there was a little bit of a breeze, and I told Jim, I said, oh, look, there's a breeze. It's going to be a nice walk. And then we turned the corner, and the breeze was at our back. So when we got to the home stretch, we had the breeze hitting us again. So that's better. That's better way to have it hit you. But I did walk a little bit farther today. Jim only walks the half mile because of his back and his hips. But at least he gets a half mile in. It's better than sitting on the chair like he usually does. But I walked 3/4 of a mile in just about 20 minutes. So almost 3/4. I did 0.74. I could have walked a little bit farther and got my little 0.75, so an actual 3/4 of a mile. But anyway, just going to sit out here and cool off a little bit, then go in and do some laundry, straighten up my house a little bit, and then find a book to read, and then we will talk again once I'm on the deck. Well, good afternoon. Today is Thursday, August 15th, and we have two birthdays. Janet Robel. So Janet, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Janet. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you have a great birthday. Now, in my calendar, I have Mimi, birthday, Tracy. So I'm not sure how that's supposed to go. So I'm going to sing to Mimi, and I'm also going to sing to Tracy. But I have a feeling that Tracy's Mimi is whose birthday it is, but I don't want to mess anybody's birthday up. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mimi. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And then Tracy, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tracy. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope everybody has a great birthday today. Let me know in the comments below, Mimi, Tracy, what it's supposed to be so I can fix it in my notes so I don't go crazy again next year. As you saw, Jim and I went for a walk. Jim has back problems and hips. His hips are bothering him. So he walks a half mile, and then I walk a little bit farther. I'm trying to walk a little bit farther each day. I want to get back to at least a mile a day. That's my goal. I want to walk early tomorrow because we're supposed to get rain tomorrow afternoon, and then we're supposed to get rain Saturday and Sunday. So I have to figure out I'll probably go down the basement and walk around in the basement. And I don't really want to go to the gym on the weekends because it's really packed. Cause that's when people don't work during the week. Or the people that work during the week, rather, go on the weekends. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. I made an extra piece of chicken last night for my dinner for tonight. I'm going to make Jim, I took some spaghetti sauce out of the freezer, so I'm going to make Jim some spaghetti for his dinner. And I'm going to have a salad with my chicken on top of it. But I had half a piece of chicken left over from my chicken last night. It was one of the best pieces of chicken I've made in a long time. I don't know, sometimes I think it's just the chicken you buy. I don't even remember what brand it was. I'd like to go to the Amish market and get the chicken, but I know this wasn't from the Amish market. But it was good nonetheless. So I had the other half a piece for breakfast. And not that I'm going to show you every day, but here's a little clip of what I had for breakfast. For breakfast, we're going to have a little mini bagel. It's 3 points for the whole bagel and 1 point for the Laughing Cow cheese, 0 for the egg, the chicken, and the berries, the grapefruit, and the banana. I'm going to watch my favorite YouTuber, Edie, over at Edie's Adventures while I eat my breakfast. And I forgot my tea over there on the counter, but there's my tea in my Santa Claus mug. I know, pretty hearty, hey? A lot of protein between the chicken and the egg. And then I had to have the blackberries because they were just starting to turn a little bit, and I didn't want them to completely turn. I thought I'd get out here before my neighbor finished, but obviously he's not, so I'll be back. Well, I think he's done. He usually does his on Thursdays, and then Sophia comes and cuts hers on Saturdays, and then Greg on the other side cuts his on Friday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday is when we get the lawns cut, so they all look. It'd be nice if we could just zoom across, get them all done at the same time. But anyway, that's what I had for breakfast. A very hearty breakfast. It kind of filled me up. I did do a load of laundry, and let me show you who's peeking at me yet again today. Well, still keeping an eye on me. But I guess they must be friendly with me because they don't seem to bother that I'm here. So that's good news. Yes, and I did some research about my birds. They must feel pretty comfortable around me. I have no idea when she built or he built, whoever built the nest. I never saw anybody building a nest. I never did. Someone had said that maybe the bird ate the eggshells himself because it's a source of calcium. It's a strong possibility because, like I said, the shells are gone. There was a completely broken egg. It was like you had, broken egg to have a fried egg in the morning. It was just sitting there like that, and the next day it was gone. So somebody ate it. I do have bunnies under my deck, but I don't think bunnies eat eggshells. We don't have very many gardens around here, so I don't know what they're thriving on. But they're thriving. They're starting to grow up. They're not little tiny baby bunnies anymore. They're kind of full-grown bunnies, and they haven't done any damage, so I have no complaints about them. But anyway, I found out that the birds, they're called mourning doves. I do like to listen to them coo, but it's the male that sits on the nest all day, not the female. It's the male, and they usually sit on the eggs for 14 days, and then once the eggs are hatched, then the babies stay in the nest for another 14 days before they fly off. And they say that usually you don't see the switcheroonie, because the female sits on them all night while the male birds are up carousing, getting other female birds pregnant, I guess. But anyway, the male sits on it all day, and then the female comes and sits on it all night. And they say you usually don't see the switch because it's done so quick. And let me show you something. Yeah, I was ready for the changing of the guard last night, which I didn't realize it was the changing of the guard. And so they must feel pretty comfortable around me, because the one flew away and the other one immediately took position on the nest, and neither one flew at me. So they must be aware that I'm going to be sitting out here whether they like it or not. So, but it's kind of cool. I kind of like it. It's kind of, Jimmy is petrified of birds. Oh my gosh, he's petrified of birds. And so he told me just to get rid of them. I said, you're not going to, by the time you come over here and sit in the back on the deck, I'm going to have him sit right underneath them. Because we're going to do Brooke's birthday dinner next Thursday, yeah. We're going to go do that. And then Jim has an appointment next Friday with the pulmonologist, because he's got a little bit of, they think he might have a little bit of COPD, and they want to have him have a inhaler or whatever. So he's going to look at it. He actually needs one of those CPAP machines for at night, because he does stop breathing. He doesn't believe me, but he does. Sometimes I just lay there and I'll count to 10, and if he has it, then I give him a little shove, kind of wake him up. It's kind of scary. It really is. I keep telling him you could die, and he's but you can. You stop breathing. Maybe once he loses some weight, that might help. His doctor had recommended he get the shot because of his diabetes. Well, he doesn't have diabetes, but he's close. I guess he's pre-diabetic, but he's not on medication yet, but he's pretty darn close to being on medication. So his heart doctor suggested that he get the shot to lose some weight. And surprisingly enough, he agreed to it. So we have an appointment on Monday, so he's going to go see the doctor to see about getting that. So we'll see how that goes. But like I said, he's walking with me every day. We're both watching what we're eating. I'm trying to cook a little bit more, because I like to cook, but I don't like cooking for just two people. I really don't. But a lot of times I'll make up like a big meal, like we'll have a roast dinner, and then I'll make them up into like individual meals, like a frozen meal, so that we can just pop them in the microwave, and then it's just not the same, but it's better, as we say in my family. Close, similar, not the same. But anyway, and then I'm just trying to do what I can around for myself, and just keep myself in mind as far as not having my expectations too high, but not too low either. You can't have too low of an expectation. If you have a really low expectation, you can always meet that goal. You always can. But no, I'm trying to get a little bit more. Like I said, each day I try to walk a little bit farther, and I'm not really going by the time. I'm just going by the steps, however long it takes me. Before, I kind of always wanted to get because I used to be able to walk 2 miles in less than an hour. I'd like to get back to that, but I don't know. we'll see. And then I do find that my balance is getting a little bit better, but today it was kind of a little bit off. Jim and I kept bumping into each other. And then we were walking. I didn't see it, but Jim did. There was a grandma across the street walking with her 2 little grandkids. And then Jim poked me and almost knocked me over. He said, "Did you see that?" And I go, "What?" And the little kid was laying on the ground. He says, "That grandma pushed that little boy down." She pushed him down. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And then she saw us and she kind of looked guilty. So I don't know. Jim says that the little boy pushed his sister down first, but still, I don't know. Well, that's what my parents did, though. You know, people aren't raised the way they are right now. And I was commenting on Joan's video too, is that you know, when I went to school, you never really had a fat kid. And if you had a fat kid, it was like somebody that was maybe 10 pounds overweight, not like really obese, just kind of a little bit overweight. We didn't have preservatives back then. You ate food while you got it. We couldn't get berries unless they were in season. You know, a lot of food you only got them when they were in season because they didn't have preservatives to preserve them. And you had a lot of homemade meals and homemade bread and all that good stuff. And you played. You didn't have play dates. You played. My mother would always say, you know, like if you wanted to call a friend, you couldn't call a friend. Walk over to their house. Oh, what if they're not there? Well, then you got a little bit of exercise and you killed a little bit of time. So nowadays, there's tons of kids in my neighborhood. Tons. I never see them out. Well, not so much even on Halloween because they don't go trick-or-treating anymore on Halloween. Last year, I didn't even give out candy because there was so much candy left over, and then I ate it. It was just, and I was giving out handfuls at the end. But they have so many Halloween parties and stuff like that you don't really need to worry about that. But I got another book. Like I'm all caught up with Christy. She's a slower reader, but she also works. I think she works 45 hours a week, so you know, I'm retired, so I have plenty of time to read. But I forgot that I got this book a long time ago by Stu Grafton because I read the whole alphabet ones, A to Z. Well, I didn't read Z because she passed away and when she finished writing Y, and she didn't even have a transcript or manuscript. She never even had a manuscript for Z. So her family, because they were trying to get her family to write it, and she said, no, as far as we're concerned, the alphabet ends at Y. So I'm going to start reading this. I don't know why I never read it. Or maybe I did read it, but although I read the little inscription on the inside, and I really don't remember reading this one. So I think I got it for a Christmas present, and then put it on my bookshelf. And then Christy joined the Book of the Month Club, and I started reading all the Book of the Month Clubs, and so I completely forgot about it. So, but this is the darkest and most disturbing case report from the files of Kinsey Milhone. Begins in 1979 at an elite private school that sets a high bar for academic achievement and turns a blind eye to the risky behavior and social sabotage students use to get what they want. With absentee parents and the money to make mistakes disappear, they are free to make their own rules. You know, it's just true. It really is. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. And I've seen it so much on the news and this local news and stuff like that. If people have money, they can get away with things. They really can. And nobody can afford to go to court. Nobody can afford to hire a lawyer. You know, like, it costs millions and millions of dollars to go to court. Don't get me started. But that is until 4 teenage boys sexually assault a freshman and film the attack. Not long after the tape goes missing and the suspected thief, a fellow classmate, is murdered. The investigation follows. 1 boy turns state evidence and 2 of his peers are convicted. But the ringleader disappears without a trace. This is going to take me a little bit because it's a smaller print and it's 485 pages. So it's almost 500 pages. So this will take a little bit longer, but that's okay. Like I said, Christy hasn't got a book for me lined up for a little bit anyhow. But yeah, we had a case here recently. I'm sure it was on the national news that it was a prominent Jewish leader, and she was murdered outside of her house. And they arrested this young guy who had a history of being bad, and he usually broke into cars and stole stuff. He was a thief, not a murderer. Well, I don't think he was a murderer. I think he was just a thief. And while he was robbing the cars, he found her on the ground, laying on the ground, and he went over and touched her and saw that she was dead and panicked and left. And then when the police arrested him, he didn't want to say that, so he kept lying to the police that he was in the area. And then when they took his jacket, he had a spot of blood on his jacket. and the DNA proved that it was hers. And then he, at that point, did come and tell the truth, said that he was robbing cars. He came across her laying on the ground dead, and he was going to try to help her, but then when he saw that she was dead, figured with his past record that he would get arrested, and that's why he ran, and he didn't say anything. And it was a really brutal murder. She was stabbed many times. There was lots and lots of blood. So if he really did stab her, then they even said it was like a crime of passion. They thought, you know how they always say that it was a crime of passion. And so he went to trial, but before he went to trial, her boyfriend went to the police and confessed to killing her. He said he killed her, and he admitted that he killed her, and he said that he used a knife and he stabbed her and blah blah blah, and but then recanted it and said that he was having a psychotic event and he didn't really do it. It was his medications. Now he had money, and so they discarded his confession, and they took this young guy to trial, and he wasn't found guilty. He wasn't found innocent, but he wasn't found guilty. It wasn't even, they found him because they were going for like big charges, and so they found him not guilty of the big charges, but they convicted him of lying to the police because they wanted to send him to jail no matter what. So he's in jail for lying to the police, but not for the murder. He was found not guilty of the murder, but then they haven't arrested anybody else. Like I said, money. There's a song like that, isn't there? I know there's a song that says money. What is that movie from? I know I heard it from a movie.
Money. If you happen to be rich, should you feel like a knight?
Let me know in the comments below, because I know that there's a song in a movie that they go money. Oh, The Producers with Nathan Lane. I think it's the Producers with Nathan Lane. I'm almost positive. Or is it Cabaret? It's either Cabaret or Money, or I think it's Cabaret now that I'm thinking about it. With the one I saw was with Alan Cummings. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Cabaret. I think it's Cabaret. But yeah, I think it is. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. So that's gonna be my thoughts on that, leading into the fix is in. Because, all right, if you don't want to hear this, skip past it. But for Big Brother, I think that they're fixing it for Angela once again. I don't know if anybody pays that much attention. I read a lot of the off-site feeds. I don't watch the live things, but I read a lot of the off-site feeds, and so they're going into the vote tonight. And so Quinn thinks he can vote, and so they've informed him that he can only vote in the event of a tie, and there's no way there can be a tie because Angela can't vote because she's head of household, and so then there'd be an even number of people, and so they took his vote away. But they never told him that when he had the power, and they never told him, because that's what they were talking about. They never told him that when he used the power, or even when they gave him the power, they didn't tell him that he wouldn't lose his vote. Plus, they never told him that now, because he took over Angela's head of household, the head of household can't try for the next week's head of household, but they're going to let Angela try again for head of household since she lost her head of household, and they're not going to let Quinn run for head of household. Now this is a new rule. It's always been, because in the past, if you've watched Big Brother in the past, there have been people that have overridden the head of household, and they just lost their week. They got to enjoy the perks of the head household, but they didn't get to follow the following week and try out for head of household. So I was kind of bummed about hearing that. Fixes in. Sandy, why do you watch the show? Because I enjoy it. I really do. But so I'm gonna sit out here. I don't know if I'm gonna start the book today or tomorrow. I haven't made up my mind. I already did my laundry. I told you. I think I did. I already did a load of laundry. Had my breakfast. Told you what I'm having for dinner. We went for a walk. Oh, Mary goes to the. She should be there now with Denise and Christy and Don with the family visit about her transplant. Somebody had asked how she could switch her insurances, because usually they don't let you because they consider it a pre-existing condition. I think it's because she's just going on Medicare this month, and she has to find a secondary insurance, and since she's not working anymore, because she's retired, or she's retiring on Friday, one of the two, she either has the choice of continuing on with the insurance from her work and then paying the COBRA or whatever it is, or finding her own secondary insurance. And so that's why her caseworker had recommended these different places, and she found somebody that she can do it. But I think it's only because this is her first month on Medicare and she has to find a secondary insurance. She has no choice. That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise she can't afford to get that done. So, but if you could keep Sparkling Susan's dad in your prayers. She's putting him in hospice, and if you know Susan, she loves her daddy, and she put so much stuff on Facebook with her and her dad, so it's going to be hard for her. So I'm glad that she's back in where did she go? Not Washington. Was it Oregon? I don't even know where she went. Isn't that sad? I think it's Oregon. I don't know. There's two states. They're in the West. They're on the West Coast. I'm almost positive it's Oregon. Or is it Washington? Anyway, she'll let me know in the comments. So just check out the comments below and you'll find out where she's living. But anyway, she's close to her kids and her grandbabies and all that now. So she'll have the support that she needs, rather than when she was in Ohio, where everybody was so far away from her. But, okay, that's going to do it for now. Yeah. No, nothing else to bab about. Let's talk again tomorrow. Hopefully I see you then.